I have a story for y'all.
We're here today to announce the arrest and the charging of David Vanstra. David Vanstra murdered in 1975 an 8-year-old girl named Gretchen Harrington. David Vanstra is, ladies and gentlemen, a monster. He is every parent's worst nightmare. This is a man who is a remorseless child predator who acted as if he was a friend, a neighbor, and a man of God. And he killed this poor little girl.
Hey, it's Araya Najee back with another true crime at bedtime video. Y'all know it's y'all favorite host ever. Back with the crimes, babe. So y'all know, well, y'all probably don't know, but I'm one of those people that believe that just because you have a good title to your name does not make you a good person. For example, a police officers. Like, police officers are supposed to serve and protect. But some of them only like to serve and protect white people. You're not a good person because you're treating another group of people terribly and not saving their life, but you can save them their life because they look different. You know what I'm saying? Or like, for instance, like what we're going to be talking about today, pastors. Like, some pastors are not good people. And it's not about being perfect, but it's about not being a horrible human being. You know what I'm saying? So this story, today we're going to be talking about Gretchen Harrington. Now, if y'all don't know who Gretchen Harrington is, which you might not know because I didn't know nothing about this. I haven't heard nothing about it at all. But Gretchen Harrington went missing in, y'all know, know how I get down, in 1975. So obviously we probably don't know nothing about that, baby. We was just born yesterday. We don't know nothing about that, but I'm gonna break it down for you. So let's get into it. So boom, Gretchen go missing August 15, 1975. And everybody's wondering, like, what happened? Like, this was so random for their little town. Like, it was just random. Like, nobody was thinking about kidnapping at the time. Like, these kids just was able to walk around and do what they do. Nobody was thinking somebody was gonna get snatched up, right? So Gretchen was this beautiful little 8-year-old girl, and she had a sister named Zoe and another sister named Ann. I think she go by something else, but they were mostly calling her Ann, so we're gonna call her Ann. Gretchen's family was super religious. It was two churches. It was her father's church and then her father's friend's church, and they would host Bible study. So after, I guess, I don't really know how this worked. They didn't really explain it for like any further, but I know the Bible study at like the Bible school thing or whatever was at the friend's church, and then I guess they would go to the dad's church afterwards. So usually the sisters would walk together, but on this particular day, her mom was bringing home her newborn, and the sisters wanted to stay and wait for them to come. Gretchen could have stayed, but her dad was like, no, just go ahead and go because you need to keep up your perfect attendance at the thing. But I guess maybe they didn't have perfect attendance, but she did, so he just wanted to keep it up. Whatever, cool. He sent Gretchen on her way, you know, not thinking anything of it, just like, go ahead and go to the friend's church, and then I'll see you at about 11 o'clock when you supposed to pop out of mine. But when 11 o'clock rolled around, Gretchen never showed up. He asked Vanstra, which is the friend, to call the police because he said he didn't see her either. So she hadn't showed up to either church. So they called the police, you know, put their little statement in, tell them what happened. And then Vanstra and his wife go over to their house and feed them supper and just kind of comfort them. Vanstra's wife said that Gretchen's mom was like, I guess in shock, and she just kind of sat there and was preparing herself for the worst. Mind you, these families are super close. Zandra's daughter is best friends with Gretchen at this point, so they would stay over together. Like, you know, they were best friends, and then like the moms were friends and the dads were friends because they had the little church connection and stuff. They were pretty close. So of course stuff like this didn't really happen down there in Marple back in the day. So I guess it caused so much commotion as it did. Like, the kids wasn't allowed to walk by themselves anymore. One kid actually had to get her hair cut because the mom didn't want like any attention being drawn to her because of her long hair. Like, they were like scared, and rightfully so. Teenagers from Marple was saying how they felt like they lost their innocence in a sense because they were literally looking for God knows what. A bunch of witnesses come forward and they're just describing like every man they had seen in the park that day. It wasn't really helping nothing because like everybody was given a different description of literally every man they saw in the park that day. Police looking to known sex offenders in the area, but nothing was connecting to Gretchen at all. Nothing. Years go by. By 2020, the person that was on Gretchen's case originally. The detective that was on her case originally died. When detectives die or retire, their cold cases are given to somebody else, or other detectives, I should say. The case is still cold at this point. There's literally no leads. It's been about 48 years. I think it was about 48 years at this point. Like, it's just, yeah, nobody paying no attention. That was until it got messy, y'all. Let me tell you how it got messy, y'all. It got messy. The case was passed on to a detective by the name of Nick Coffin. January of this year, 2023, January. It's not an exact date because he said he don't remember the exact date that this happened, but January 2023, Nick got a voicemail from a person that goes by the name of SF. I guess it's like an anonymous thing. I get it. I wouldn't want my name to be out there either if I was spilling the tea like this, girl. The lady is basically saying she has information on Gretchen's disappearance. This is like a big break because it's been almost 48 years at this point, almost 50 years pretty much, and there has been no leads, right? Right. So they scheduled this interview with her, and y'all, let's get into it. SF tells state troopers that she was friends with Xandra's daughter, one of his daughters. And one night she stayed over at her house. And, you know, this wasn't the first time she stayed over at the house or whatever. She stayed over for, I think, 2 nights. The first night she slept over, and while she was asleep, Xandra came in, Zanstra, whatever his name is, came in and started to touch her in her area. And she shifted a little bit, and he like ran out, darted out the room. She woke up, she didn't think nothing of it, I guess, and she stayed over again. The second time she stayed over, he did it again. At this point, it's sparking red flags in her 10-year-old little brain. So SF brings this up to the daughter, and the daughter was like, oh yeah, he does that sometimes. Okay, all right. The daughter goes and tells the parents what SF had told her, and they said she was banned and she was not allowed to come over anymore at all. Like, you can't come back over here. So I'm thinking maybe that's why she didn't tell anybody else, because like, you have to think she was 10 years old. So if you're 10 years old and you tell on somebody and then you get punished for telling on somebody, you're not going to want to keep telling. You know what I'm saying? If people know punishment means if you get punished for something, that means it's bad. So that's probably what she was thinking, like, oh, well, since I got in trouble, I don't need to do it no more, right? Right. So then she recalled another time where her friend by the name of Holly was telling her how she almost got abducted twice. Not once, but twice. So she wrote in her diary that she thought it was Mr. Z, and Z stood for Zanstra. Now, Zanstra was questioned in 1974 when this really like all happened, but he claimed that he never seen her that day. Like, she never showed up to the church, and he didn't really know anything. He couldn't help them. But they also interviewed everybody. Like, they interviewed a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, he wasn't suspicious back then. Witnesses said that they saw Gretchen talking to a person like outside of their car. And some of those descriptions of that car matched Zandra's, but he swore up and down that he never saw her that day. He doesn't know anything about that. Even though he claimed to not have seen her that day, he was able to describe the shorts she was wearing, the exact shorts she was wearing, down to the seams, y'all. But you ain't seen her that day. Okay, so that wasn't suspicious to you. Okay, all right. So after the whole SF interview situation happened, they tracked him down to his lakefront home in Marietta, Georgia. He had moved all around. He had been like moving all around. He went to California at one point. Like, he was everywhere. I guess he was trying to escape the past, but he was everywhere. But we'll get into that in a minute. So he agreed to meet the state troopers for more questioning. I mean, this is like 50 years later. Like, this man probably thought he got away with it. Like, it was taking this to the grave. But no, ask him about the case. He again denies that he ever seen her. Like I said, even though he knew exactly what shorts she had on that day, he still denied. So they hit him with we know about the allegations from SF. Boy, that got Xandra talking. Xandra admitted to both the sexual assault allegations and the kidnapping allegations. So this was pretty much how he told the story. So he pretty much offered her a ride. Of course, Gretchen said yes because that was his father's. Like, they were close, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a stranger to her. So as they're riding for a while, Gretchen realizes she's not going to the church. Like, she can tell this isn't the direction to the church. And she's like, can you just take me home? And he's like, no. They go to a wooded area, and he asks her to get naked. head. She refuses, obviously, so he ends up striking her in the head with his fist. He punches her in the head and pretty much kills her. Knocks her out cold, kills her. Once he checked her pulse and realized that she was dead, I'm assuming that wasn't his intention. I really don't know, because it seems like he didn't mean to kill her. Like I don't know, I don't think he brought her to the woods to specifically kill her. I know what he brought her to the woods to really do, but I don't know if he wanted to kill her afterwards or if he was just, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Anyways, he checked her pulse, realized she was dead, covered her body, her half-naked body in sticks and stuff like that, and just went about his life like nothing happened. Went about his day, nothing happened. He was charged with homicide and kidnapping, and they said that in his confession, he really seemed like he didn't care. Y'all remember when I said that he moved to California? They are trying to connect him with another kidnapping in 1991 of a girl named Nikki Campbell. She goes by Amanda Nicole as well. And she went missing when she was 4 years old, like I said, 1991. And they took his DNA or whatever to investigate that and see if there was any possible connection there. But yeah, y'all, that was crazy to me, because like I said, just because people have these good, what's supposed to be these good titles and stuff, does not make them good people. And a lot of people don't want to believe that these people who are put in places, in high places to protect you or, you know, to do good in their community, aren't good people. Like a lot of these church camps and stuff, these kids be getting all types of touched and messed with, and nobody thinks about it, nobody looks at it. A lot of families have these essayers in their homes and in their families, and nobody wants to just believe that these people that, you know, they look at as good people are not good people. It's crazy to think that this person who ruined a whole family is literally right among you. You know what I'm saying? Because amongst you. I'm trying to get all serious and can't even say the words. But amongst you, this lady brought in a newborn baby thinking she was gonna have 4 kids, a happy big family of 6, and one of her babies was taken the same day she brought another one in. But yeah, that's just how I feel about the situation. I got an attitude now because nobody wants to let me be great and film my videos. So I will see y'all in my next video, and hopefully I can actually do a real outro, because, you know, the story was crazy, and I'm just hoping that, you know, this brings some type of awareness, and you need to watch who you have around your kids. Not everybody that has a good title is a good person. Remember that. All right, bye y'all. See y'all in the next one.